Hey, I'm Randy, and you're watching The Cheap Audio Man. Today we're talking about the Soncoz LAQXD1, solid model number. It's a balanced DAC. Is it a balanced budget beauty or a balanced budget bust? Tune in right now and find out. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Soncoz LAQXD1 balanced DAC. Today's sponsor is Audio Garden's 3.5 millimeter to 1/4 inch audiophile grade certified adapter. They're $375, but they're audiophile certified graded adapters. You know that, so you know it's a good one because it's certified audiophile grade, just like beef. Actually, beef, I don't think it's certified audiophile anything. The Soncoz. Okay, I'm going to try to remember the model number once again. LAQXD1, the Soncoz. It's a balanced DAC. You can get these on Amazon right now for $220 or $234, which is pretty incredible. On the back, you have XLR in, 2 RCA single-ended ins, then the other XLR in, a coax in, a coax out, full-size USB in, and full-size optical in. And then there's a 5-volt USB-C power plug. On the front, there are 4 LED lights across the top. One for optical, TOS, one for coax, one for USB, and then one for power to let you know that it's operating. Then there's a gear button. That's the button that's going to change the inputs, a minus or a plus sign, which raises and lowers, not just raises. Wouldn't it be funny if it just raised the volume? Then you'd have to turn it off or like reset it to get the volume. That wouldn't be fun at all, would it? And then there's a mute button. So on the volume up and volume down, if you just click it, it goes up in small increments. If you hold it down, it goes up in large increments. Personally, I just ran it wide open all the way up. I listened to the Soncoz LAQXD1, getting it now. I listened to it through my, the X-Duo MT604 balanced headphone amp, along with the Dan Clark Aeon Closed RT. These model numbers are something. And also the M570 from Monolith. It's their headphone. They're both planar magnetic. Anyway, I listened to both of those with my laptop computer as the source, running USB into the Soncoz, and then balanced out into the MT604, and then into my headphones with a balanced connection. I also ran this balanced into the SMSL DA9 as well as the SMSL AO200, both balanced amps, into the ELAC Unify reference speakers. Under the hood, there is a Sabre ES9038 QTM chipset and also a XMOS, let's see if I'm going to get this one right, XU208 processor that's handling the USB connection. This DAC supports files up to 32-bit and 768 kilohertz, because there's awful lot of those lying around. And it also does a bunch of DSD magic as well. So, how does it sound and how does it work? It sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty awesome. The top-end detail is very articulate. Actually, it's very good. There's a ton of detail retrieval, and it does not sound thin at all. I listened to a variety of tracks, all of which are in my Cheap Audio Man test track playlist, which is in the description. If you sign up for Amazon Music, you can check out that playlist and listen to everything that I listen to. And then you can go back and say, you're wrong. And that's fine, because I'm just giving you examples of what I heard and when I heard it. Anyway, the chain, Fleetwood Mac. Listen to the wind blow. Something or other. Anyway, the guitar. Very reverberary. And through the right headphones, I could hear every bit of it. It was incredible. The God That Failed off of the Metallica Black Album, the beginning is doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and the bass, it was full and thick and sounded like caramel. I don't know what caramel sounds like, but if it sounds like anything, it sounds like the beginning of The God That Failed by Metallica. The percussion was snappy and palpable and crisp and hung in the air just long enough. Very good. This DAC is really good. Africa by Toto, covered by Weezer. At the beginning, there's some thick bass drum and very long cymbal crashes. And if you have a DAC that is just detailed for the sake of being detailed, but it's not really detailed, it just sounds detailed and digitally. This DAC did not sound digitally at all, and the cymbals just hung in the air, and the impact of the bass was punchy, like a 40-year-old farmer that gets really angry at you and then just hits you at the side of the head because he's been throwing bales onto a trailer all day and he's upset and somebody said something to him the wrong way. That's what it feels like. Okay? Anyway, it's punchy without being overtly warm. Okay, here it is. This DAC is simultaneously strong and punchy on the bass, but articulate and delicate with the way it handles the highs. Fantastic. The cymbals just hung in the air. Now, with that said, you are going to need a very revealing, a very clear headphone to hear all these subtle nuances. I would recommend planar magnetic, and specifically, I don't know, the Dan Clarks are pretty detailed. The Sundaras, I didn't listen to them on here, but I do have the P1s by, I can't even remember who they're by. Tin Hi-Fi P1s, very planar magnetic. They're very hard to drive, little planar magnetic earbuds, but they are a microscope into the music. And this DAC with those IEMs was fantastic. The good thing about running this through a set of very revealing speakers is you're going to hear a difference between this DAC and other DACs, other warmer DACs like Burr Brown DACs, and even something like the Bifrost 2. Now, the Bifrost 2 is fantastic for other reasons, but this one more time, Soncoz LAQXD1 does a phenomenal job of retrieving detail and still controlling the bass and still being ultra clinical and clear without sounding digital. Very good, very impressive. So I compared this to the SMSL SU8S, also a balanced DAC, also has a Saber DAC chip. Now, the SMSL has a ton of different sound modes, roll-off modes, so there is some tweaking that you can do inside the SMSL SU8S to get a sound that you want, or the one that's desirable for you. Not so in the Soncoz LAQXD1. Not so. You get what you get, and there's no remote control. It's kind of bare bones, and I kind of like that because it already sounds good. It doesn't have to try to sound different. It just is what it is, and what it is it's clear, it's detailed, and it controls the bass enough that you're not feeling like it's leaning either direction. But above all else, there is a ton of clarity, and I love that. And it's not that fake digital clarity that just sounds clear. It's actual clarity. It sounds very good. I checked out some measurements on this, and I know there's been a lot of back and forth going on about measurements in the YouTube community. I think we can all get along. I think there is places for measurements and there's places for subjective opinion, and I think they can come together. We can have a hands across YouTube audio world between measurement people and subjective people. Anyway, the good news is the Soncoz LAQXD1 actually measures quite well. And for the price, it measures extremely well. There is not a ton of competition at this price point for a balanced DAC. There just really isn't. I have to do some more research, but I don't think there's anything this affordable that actually has balanced outputs. The balanced outputs put out 4 volts. The single-ended RCA puts out 2 volts, very common. I just don't think there's much out there, or anything out there at this price. When comparing this to the SMSL SU8S, I think out of the box, just standard, not changing any of the modes in the SMSL SU8S, I actually prefer the Soncoz. Now, if you get in and you start changing the roll-offs, changing the sound modes, you can get a sound that sounds very similar. What the SMSL SU8S has going for it is MQA and crazy awesome Bluetooth and a remote control. So the SMSL SU8S can be a true digital preamplifier. Now, the Soncoz can be a digital preamplifier. However, any change in the volume is going to have to be done on the unit itself. With this is your remote control. Now, is that a deal breaker for me? No, because here we go. So this is going to be a little bit different. If you mate this up or put it together with or hook it up to the SMSL DA9 or the SMSL AO200, you've got a remote for those. So you don't really need a remote for this. Now, if you want to change inputs from the comfort of your chair with the remote control, it's not happening with this thing because, well, there's no remote control. I did read some of the reviews on Amazon, some mixed reviews. Some people said that you couldn't power this off of a regular 5-volt charger or from your laptop. I charged it just fine off my laptop. I just did USB into USB-C into here. Some others have talked about the build quality. I think the build quality is actually quite good. Very good aluminum case. There's some vents on the bottom. This is a no-frills DAC, but what you do get is you get solid sound and in a solidly built package, and you're not paying for any extras. So, great sounding, inexpensive, balanced output. It's a winner. Highly recommended. I couldn't recommend this product more. Sounds fantastic. If you've got a little bit of extra money laying around, though, I would probably also look at the SMSL SU8S. And all that detail I was talking about, you need a system that can retrieve it. Otherwise, you're not going to hear it. So, if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night, we have patron-only Zooms. We also have a patron-only Facebook group. You can also sign up for Amazon Music. There is a link in the description. Click on the link, sign up. You get 3 or 4 months for free. I get a couple of dollars, and I think you get 3 months of Disney Plus for free, which is fun because you can watch The Mandalorian, you can watch Rogue One, you can watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, all sorts of cool stuff you can watch for free for the next 3 months. But listen, Disney Plus is like the best $8 I ever spend a month. Okay. You can also use any of the links in the description. Those are affiliate links, which means if you buy through those links, I get a commission, but it doesn't cost you any more. It's a nice way to show your support. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, like the video if you like this video, and turn on the bell notification so you know when all my crazy videos go up. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu or your new free trial of Disney Plus. Binge listen through your new Soncoz LAQXD1. Fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.